Diversification and dominance are not correlated. Dominant countries become more dominant. Diversification is not conditioned by competitiveness. Global value chains incorporate the producers in global product markets in terms of the activities required to bring a product or service from conception through the different phases of production, delivery to final consumers, and final disposal after use. The value added of all activities that are directly and indirectly needed to produce a final product. The full range of activities that firms undertake to bring a product or a service from its conception to its end use by final consumers. Which sectoral global value chains networks are highly centralized, and what is the extent of centralization? Which countries within a sectoral global value chains network are highly diversified? Are the dominant countries within a sectoral global value chains network also highly diversified? We used a data set from World Input-Output Database, which covered 44 countries and 54 sectors for the examination period, 2000 to 2014, to construct 810 sectoral global value chains networks. World Input-Output Database gathers some special features suitable for global value chain studies, namely, World Input-Output Database is appropriate for analysis over several years. World Input-Output Database is derived from official and publicly available sources. World Input-Output Database is based on national supply and use tables. The construction of World Input-Output Database is based on transparent methods. World Input-Output Database is publicly available and free. In and out-weighted degree centralization are used as a measure of the detection of limited competition at the country level in sectoral global value chains networks. The high unweighted degree centralization of a sectoral global value chains network means that a few importers receive a high share of value added from the exporters, so they can put pressure on the trade prices and conditions. While low unweighted degree centralization describes a sector with high competition where the imported share is more uniformly distributed to the importers. High outweighted degree centralization in a sectoral global value chains network means that a few exporters dominate the supply of value added, which gives them the power to regulate prices. While low outweighted degree centralization describes a sector with high competition where the exported share is more uniformly distributed to the exporters. In and outweight entropies are computed as measures of the variety of value-added flows among countries and global value chains networks. Furthermore, entropy is used in order to examine if the value-added share was imported or exported from or to many partners. Entropy rises with diversification and, contrariwise, declines with specialization. Thus, if a dominant importer or exporter exhibits high in or outweight entropy, it is assumed that its value-added imports or exports are scattered to many partners, and consequently, it could be or become the regulator of the sectoral network, which harms the competition conditions. The global value chains network of Sector 32 water transport has the highest in-weighted degree centralization on average compared with the rest of sectoral global value chains networks. Few importers are expected to receive a high share of value added from the exporters. On the other hand, the global value chains network of Sector 22 manufacture of furniture, other manufacturing activities has the lowest in-weighted degree centralization on average. Compared with the rest of the sectoral global value chains networks, therefore the imported share is expected to be uniformly distributed to the importers. The global value chains network of the Sector 4 mining and quarrying has the highest outweighted degree centralization on average compared with the rest of sectoral global value chains networks, as few exporters are expected to dominate the supply of the value added. On the other hand, the global value chains network of Sector 5 manufacture of food products, beverages and tobacco products has the lowest outweighted degree centralization on average compared with the rest of sectoral global value chains networks, therefore the suppliers are expected to export uniformly to importers. A few countries are protected of the low competitive conditions. A few countries trade uniformly their share in the decentralized networks. Diversification is not conditioned by competitiveness. Dominant countries become more dominant. The leading dominant country is not affected in networks with low competition, while vulnerable in networks with high competition. Diversification and dominance are not correlated. Input-output balance does not prevent domino effects.
First, countries wishing to enter or increase its participation in global trade should implement more concentrated trade policies on less centralized sectoral networks, as they have more chance. Second, a dominant country is not necessarily diversified, but when it does, it is difficult to lose its dominance. Third, developing economies adopting diversification strategies have the chance to improve their dominance in the global value chain networks.